Yep.
5, 4, 3, 2. Guess what, everybody? We are live.
This is 2OF Entertainment.
And we are live. Welcome to the show.
Wow.
We're going to start doing
Hi,
ad hoc
hi.
live. So this is Wednesday morning in New York City. It is 10 a.m. So for you guys that want to watch us, you can figure out what EST is, 10 a.m. You can watch ad hoc live, add your comments, do whatever. Today it's just Morton and I. We're sorry. The crazy uncle couldn't make it, and Adam can't
Oh,
make it. So it's just us girls today. So
yeah, 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 yeah. But no problem. No hassle
no
in the
problem. We're all
castle, as
good.
they say.
All good. And just got
Yeah.
done just filming the show for Saturday morning, the Habana drink show, cigars and whatnot. So I've had my 3 or 4 glasses of scotch, a couple cigars. So yeah, I'm feeling no pain. So this will be fun.
feel
Anyway,
feel free to continue.
yes, I would, but then I'd be under the table and I'd be like, everybody.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're good.
I know it.
There you go. So
And
what's up, big guy? Yeah,
by the way, congratulations.
thank you. On what?
Today is the Labor Day.
No,
The
not in America.
original.
The
Okay.
original one. In America,
Yeah.
Labor Day is in September.
Chris,
Yeah, it's a
you
crazy
guys
day.
always have to. Yeah,
We
yeah.
have a lot of
But
holidays right now. Okay.
Yeah, the guy from France. There was a lot of guys gathering for making the Labor Day back in 1870s, 80s. But
87. Let's see.
yeah,
Let's look up Labor Day US history.
yeah.
Let's find out what the history is of our Labor Day. I know the one
Uh,
in Canada was started in 1956. So the first Labor Day, it says the original labor movement lay in the formative years of American nation when a free wage labor market emerged in the artistic trade late in the colonial period. The earliest record is in 1768. That is when
okay.
Labor Day, that's when that happened. Labor Day started in the 18th century, but it doesn't tell me the year. So if anybody's listening and they know the year when Labor Day started, let us know. But yeah, so there you go. But our Labor Day is in September. Canada's is in October, and the rest of the world is I have no clue.
Yeah, most of the world, I have it live here. Most of the world has it today.
Oh, okay. Happy Labor Day, everybody.
Really.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It's May 1st. So today, so Russia's having their May Day today.
Mayday, Mayday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Russia's having their May Day. Very nice. All right. Well, let's talk about Labor Day and revolution and all the fun stuff.
All the fun stuff. I think it will. I think it will happen again. It's bound to happen.
A
Um,
revolution or a civil war?
uh, a combination because um, a revolution. I don't think
Hmm.
that kind of revolution that we had will be back because it's new times, new methods.
Right.
It's a brand new world every day. So I think it will happen very distant from the original Che Guevara thing. You know,
Right, right,
I think it would be. I don't know how it would be really. I don't know if people care enough to have a revolution.
I just saw a movie this weekend here in America called Civil War. It was very interesting. So I think depending on what happens in November this year in America, maybe we could have a civil war.
Hmm.
States could want to succeed. People may want to like this is BS. So I think there's a possibility of a civil war. Whether there really will
Yeah.
be a civil war or not, I'm not sure. But I
Yeah.
think it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next, say, 6 to 8 months. At some point, I think
Yeah,
there will be a civil war. I think it's just inevitable.
yeah, yeah. And I think it's gonna be kind of all over the world,
Maybe.
because we are, everybody is adapting. Not everyone, not Putin, but well, also Putin has Coca-Cola, we are very adaptable to the guys in your country. You are. You have a thing for Europeans, for
Right.
all over the world. Everybody wants to follow the American
They follow the American
dream.
dream.
Or,
Yeah, but that was,
yeah,
I think that ended in the 2000s. I don't think
yeah,
there's an
yeah,
American
yeah,
dream anymore. I think we had an American dream after World War II with the Industrial Revolution and everything else that was going on. And I think now it's more of like, I don't know what it is. It's almost like a socialist. Oh no, not. I guess it's almost like a communist country with a little bit of freedom. Like we're a capitalist country, but we're
yeah,
very much under the thumb of whomever. And I think that's a
yeah,
problem. And I think Americans are getting fed up with that. They pay taxes, they do this, they do that, but the government doesn't do anything. There's no health care. There's no anything. And so I think people are just getting fed up. So I think the US government has got to like get their shit together and figure out how
you you just
to
got
go
a
from end to end.
thumb.
Yeah, I got a thumb. Ooh,
Yeah, yeah. I
there
saw
you
a
go.
thumb come.
Okay,
Yeah,
there's a
there's
thumb. There's
another
another one.
one.
Wait, we can make balloons rain. I think if I do this, hold on.
You're
Thumb,
making themselves,
balloons.
yes?
Yeah, I just do this, and then I get thumbs. There you go. There's my thumbs.
Oh,
But
good.
yeah, I think the American government needs to whatchamacallit. I think the American government needs to do the get their act together and figure
Yeah,
out how they're going to make America better. And I don't mean America great. Like let's get that. That's BS. America
yeah,
is a great place, but we're not making America great again. That boat has sailed. We can make America stay up with the times. We can make America help its people. But if we don't start putting money back into America, like for healthcare, education, and whatever, we're no better than any third world country. Healthcare is out of whack. Reagan got rid of, if you will, sane asylums, and so we don't help people. There's homeless people. We do nothing for the public
yeah,
here. So
yeah,
America is no better than, if you will, China or any of these other countries. So all these people, America's a great. No, not really. If you look at just overall, it's great that we all can become
yeah,
billionaires. That's good. But if we're not
yeah,
helping the people
yeah,
that can't be billionaires, that's bad. And we don't do that. And so America needs to get out of its own way. The politicians need to get their heads out of their asses and start saying, hey, listen, we need to help the little guy. We need to do this. We need to make like healthcare should be affordable, or we should just pay for your healthcare. This should be
yeah.
done. That should be this. Take care of the elderly. Everything that we're supposed to be that we're not needs to be done.
Are you guys in America singing the Internationale?
No.
The no. Because
And
I
if Trump
have
becomes
it.
president, he's going to make us an isolationist again. And that's not good either.
Yeah,
I mean, for all the taxes and all the crap, and I mean, granted, the military spends $1 trillion. Why don't you put that into healthcare? Why don't you put that into like taking care of people? Like when medicine costs an average citizen $1,000 or something, that's ridiculous. You know what? Greed is good to
yeah,
an extent, to another extent, not so much. And that's why
no,
there's going to be a civil war because people are going to get pissed off and be like, you know what? F you. We don't need this
yeah,
bullshit. And they're starting now. Like the police don't even show up the calls anymore because they can't be bothered. In Dallas, I know I wrote an article a couple of weeks ago that the police, like unless you're getting killed, they're not showing up. Burglaries, they don't
no,
show up for
no, no,
nothing.
no, no.
Austin's
Yeah,
kind of the
yeah,
same way. So
yeah,
unless America starts changing to where it's what it used to be, like let's take care of everybody, there will be a civil war because people are going to be enough is enough. This is bullshit. This is not how the founding fathers wanted it. Boom.
No.
And that's going to be a problem because I don't think the government, and I don't think people in the military are going to do anything. I think a lot of people in the military look at it as the same thing. Like, this is ridiculous. When veterans have to wait 4 hours at the VA hospital, that's stupid.
I
You know
can
what I mean?
I
It's like
can
that.
read I can read some lines because I have a
Sure.
website open now where the Internationale is translated to American. All over Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Germany,
Right.
France, of course, all over Europe, this song is being sung today.
Right.
If you it's very Russian inspired. Really, it's not Russian inspired. It is about
Solidarity.
solidarity.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
but it's rise up, slaves of the earth, up, all who have felt hunger. Now it's thundering from justice power. For the last battle we prepare, everything old we will level to the ground. Up, slaves, towards freedom. We have nothing, but we can accomplish everything. For the cleanup of our society home. That's the first word. Yeah.
Okay. But see,
So
that's
so it's
interesting. But then if you look at what that's very, let's just say it's USSR back in 1912 with,
yeah.
let's just say Marx and the rest of them. It didn't fare well for them either. So I'm not saying that
No, no,
anything's
no,
that there's
no, no.
nothing that's a utopia. But if you're a government and you don't take care of your people, you have a civil war. If you don't take care of things, people
Yeah.
arise. You have discontent. If I'm a government like the UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, they're not stupid. What do? Free healthcare, free this, free everything. Like, let's keep the people happy. America, like, yeah, if you can't afford your healthcare, screw you. You go to a collection agency. Why? Because we make money. We do this, and that's bad. And what's going to end up
Yeah.
happening is people are going to be like, you know what? Screw you. I'm not doing shit. And then what are you
Yeah.
going to do? Like, I'm not doing that. And so if the government doesn't start changing the way it thinks and the people in America don't start changing the way they think, there's nothing wrong with getting rich. But if you
No.
don't help the average person that can't
Yeah.
afford health care or can't afford to eat, then you know what?
Yeah.
You're truly a fucked up country. And we don't help these people.
Yes, and it then again it's solidarity. The term is dying, of course,
Right.
because everybody is only looking on their own
Themselves.
noses, and yeah, and that is a scary thing because we have. If we go back in time, there was also solidarity back in the caves. Is if there was the neighbor cave,
Right.
if the people alerted each other to help each other, that's solidarity, and they could just stay in their own caves and give a damn, but they took risks to help others.
Right. I agree.
Who are doing this today?
Nobody takes risks to do anything anymore. Today, think about it. There's not even these billionaires like Bill Gates goes, I'm going to give malaria shots to people in Africa. And I think that's commendable. But you know what, Bill? There's people in America that are starving. There's people in America that don't have health care. I don't have
Yeah.
anything against helping the African countries. That's what the United
No, no,
Nations
no, no.
and the WHO is for. That's, you want to do something here where you became a trillionaire. Help
Yeah.
the people, help hospital systems, help the healthcare here. And I don't see it, maybe. I mean, like Michael Dell here in Austin has 42 hospitals named after him. You still have to pay. So let's help the people who need
Yeah.
help. All these homeless people, some of them I'm assuming have mental disorders. Some of them just lost their job and they can't afford to pay for something.
Yeah.
Why aren't we helping them? Like,
Yeah.
listen, stop. And I don't mean to be an asshole about this, but screw the rest of the planet right now. Let's help our country. And then once we get ourselves to a Shangri-La, we can help the rest of the planet. Helping everybody else right now isn't working that well. We're not the policemen anymore of the world. We need to be the policemen of our own and the stewards of our own country. And every country should help itself. You know, you want to have a global powerhouse Navy and Army. I'm all for it, right? So, you know, communists, whatever, China doesn't take over the world. I don't care. But if you don't help your people, when it's time to raise an army or it's time to go fight, people here are going to be like, yeah, screw you. What did you do for me? And that's what the government doesn't, the government, people in government today, as we talked about before, they're doing it for themselves. Nobody's doing it to help the
exactly,
people. And that's
exactly.
a problem. If you don't help the people, you're screwed. Myself,
and I and my family and what's gaining me. And
they
go over, they go over bodies to do that. But even in Norway, even we only have 25 inhabitants. In Norway, we have poor people. Can you imagine this wealthy country, one of the richest country in the world?
Yeah.
But we help the poor people abroad.
You don't help people in Norway, though.
Nah, there are certain, you know, like a pensioner for you know, the pension of a guy who had poor or just common income all his life. He has to have. I visited once a guy. Together with a newspaper, and he had 3 training dresses. You know, it was winter, and he didn't have money for electricity to warm up his so-called apartment. It was spontaneous and nothing there. And he said, I've been fighting for this country. I fucking made this country. And look what I get back.
And so when citizens get pissed off enough and they go, screw you, there you go. And that's the problem. Is like, and we joke about Norway having 25 people, maybe at 50. But if some of the people there need help, what's the big deal? You have $1 trillion sovereign wealth fund. It's like everybody wants to become a billionaire, but what they keep forgetting is if you don't help the people that are suffering. And Reagan was great for this. Like, he got rid of all the mental institutes and he did this and he did that, and that's fine. Now they're in America, they're all on the street, and you have kids that are homeless and people are, but nobody cares. Like, it's all like, oh, they're homeless, let's help them. Well, why don't we give them shelter? Why don't we give them a job? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? And why don't we get them treatment? Let's do something. I mean, we have all this money. I mean, really, we can print as much as we want because we do anyway. So instead of giving the military $80 trillion, why don't you put some of that back into healthcare? Why don't you get drugs? Like, there's a pharmaceutical company that's charging $1,000 for some drug that helps kids, and no insurance company wants to cover it. Why? Because it's insurance. Insurance is a scam. The hospital systems are a scam. Everything in America is a scam for someone else to get rich. And then they say, you owe, I'm making up a number, $50,000 because you went to the hospital. And the people go, I can't pay it. So they go, okay, well, they send you to collections. All right. And then they fight and collect. Who cares? Really, at the end of the day, who cares? You do nothing for me. You should take care of your citizens. You should have free health care. You know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't be paying for health care. I pay Social Security every month. I pay my FICA. I pay all these other taxes that I've been paying since I'm 16 when I got a job. And I still pay shit today. Take care of the people. And that's the problem.
But you could pay to Bermuda if you wanted.
I will, when it's time to move, I will, whether it's UAE, Thailand, or wherever, I will be on a jet plane and move.
But you know, a lot of people in Norway, we had this I don't know how many planes that gone. The rich people in Norway, the wealthy rich
Right.
people in Norway, they don't want to pay Norwegian taxes,
Right. They
so
all evade it. Yeah.
yeah, and they're gone to Switzerland. They
Yeah,
are
that doesn't
gone
work
to
anymore here in
Swiss.
America. So what happens is that you set up your companies globally, and then you pay a
I
lesser
know.
tax, and then you don't bring back money to America, so you cannot pay tax. American citizens, like if we have accounts overseas, there's a box that you check. Do you have accounts overseas? And you say yes, and then you pay your tax accordingly. I don't
Yeah,
have a problem paying tax. I'm
no.
okay with it. I want you to use my money other than paying the morons in Congress and the senators, other than paying these organizations that do absolutely nothing. I want you to take my money and help the people who need it. Give them health care, give them this. My
Yeah,
Social Security, when I finally can get it, is like nothing. And I'm like, I paid, if you will, 50 years into a system that's BS, right?
yeah.
Because there's nothing for you as an American citizen, and it
We
was, oh,
we
we're
we
free
we
and we're
have
this.
we have he died now, but a very dear singer from Denmark,
Right,
and he claimed that if why do we have politicians? Why do we have governments
right,
if it isn't for mostly helping the people down at the table?
right. And they don't.
The others are managing themselves. I've
Yeah,
done businesses. I've done so many businesses. If you have a business in Norway, in whatever country you want to, there are always these small, the taxman in our
right.
companies. They will find a way to get something away.
Right.
That is not taxes. But as the old man I was talking about with three gym,
The
he
jacket,
was
sure.
yeah.
Right. Freezing
He
cold.
he he can't do anything.
Right. But that's the problem, though. Here you have all these people where they don't take care of, at least in Japan, they still, I think, take care of their elderly. In South Korea, they take care of their elderly. I'm not sure about what's going on in China anymore.
No,
America has lost that.
yeah,
America, when I was growing up as a kid, I remember when my grandparents, who had money, but when my family was like, "You're going to live with us," so it was like a household full of grandparents, parents, and children,
yeah.
and you learned.
Oh,
Nowadays,
I
it's
remember
not that
that.
way. It's like I have mine, you have yours, leave me alone. Like we've talked about this before. My mom was dying; she lived with us for 3 years. I made
Yeah,
sure that my mom was taken care of in my house with
lovely.
a nurse 24/7 because my mom took care of me. So my mom
Yeah,
lived with me and I didn't care what people said. They go, "You live with your mom." I'm like, "Yeah, that's my mom. My mom
yeah.
took care of me,
It's my
right?"
mom.
Yeah,
She
that's the way
gave
it
she
works.
gave you birth. She
Right.
gave you birth. God
So you
damn
have to
it.
take care. If you don't take care of the elderly when they get
Yeah.
old, and you don't take care of the homeless, and you don't take care of this, and then they're like, "Well, of course there's crime. You're not doing anything to better the people. You're not helping them. You're not giving them money to eat food. You're not giving them health care. You're not giving them this. You're not giving them that." So if some guy, whether he robs a bank or whatever he does, because he has to pay for his child's health care, you can't blame them. I mean, and
No.
the government goes, "Oh, you're gonna no, do something." Even in the prison system, I think they get better health care than the citizens outside prison. And it's kind of like this is,
Yeah,
and I'm
but
not, no, prisoners, and they deserve health care, right? Because if we're going to incarcerate you, we have to take care of you. But why don't you take care of the other people? And we don't do that. So
Stephen, I
yeah,
have some distant family from the days when all the European came over from Europe. It was
right,
bad times in Europe, and
yeah, yeah,
they want to try the luck in the land of the what you call it.
milk and honey.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I have I still have some contacts with some of my ancestors. The children of in Idaho.
Oh, Idaho.
Y-
That's in
Yeah,
America?
yeah, I know. And what I'm discussing with them, they say, "Fuck it, it's one for all and all for one." But in our terms, it's not as in Norway. It's because Norway and Europe, they are thinking Russian way,
Yes.
and yeah, and that's wrong because in the the political system with only two parties like you have,
Right.
it's pest or cholera.
Right.
You can't choose in between, and it's so easy. Even old Bernie is called by you guys, not
Oh, Bernie
you
Sanders?
exactly. Yeah. He's called,
Socialist.
to yeah, but he is called to be
A socialist.
Russian. Yes, no, but worse.
Worse.
Also communist.
I don't know if
But
Bernie Sanders is a communist. I think he's more of a socialist. I'm okay with like universal health care and taking care of people and whatever. I think the bigger
yeah,
issue is that the way we work in America with our two-party system not happening. So when people are getting fed up and they're taking
yeah,
to the streets, that's a bad thing. Now, I do have a problem when people take to the streets that don't know what the hell they're talking to about. Like these kids at Columbia University with this Palestine, we're pro-Palestine, and they're like Israel's doing terrible things to them. And I'm like, yeah, you should go back and look at the history. So when they don't know what they're talking about, that's
yeah,
different.
yeah,
But that's what's starting to happen is because we've become a society, especially in America, of a bunch of morons. And unfortunately, we're producing stupid kids because they don't read. They're on TikTok and Instagram. Schools don't teach them shit. In fact, I saw something the other day. When I went to school, which is true, you had woodworking, auto mechanic, music. You have all of that, right? You learned history.
yeah.
You like
Me,
spend
me
the day
too. Me
learning,
too. Me too.
right?
Me too.
Now you don't spend anything. Like they
No.
don't teach you jack shit. I ask kids today, "What about this? What about?" I don't know. We spent a minute on it. So
Yeah.
you produce a society of morons, and this is
Yeah.
what you get. And so
And
our country and all these other countries are going to get what they deserve because they're producing a society of morons, and
and
that's it.
we know for sure that if you don't know the past, you are not able to go through
To the future,
to the future. Also, because things are repeating themselves, that's one thing,
right?
and you have to know the substance. Why
Yes,
are we in this earth together?
right,
Why didn't we have millions of places, and you can have your own little globe
right,
where only you lived, and what the fuck would you do then?
right,
Because you couldn't buy groceries,
right.
and you had to deal with
The,
everything
the,
yourself.
the perfect example of me, Elon Musk, right? He
Yep.
moves his company from Delaware to Texas so he can get a $56
Mm.
billion pay package. In the interim, he fires 14,000 people from Tesla globally.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everybody's complaining that the Tesla Cybertruck is a piece of crap.
Yeah.
So that's a me thing. And the problem is the kids today are too stupid and they don't get it. They don't see it. So these protests that they're doing, they're not doing the Berkeleys of the 60s, like sit-ins and like, love and peace. They're breaking into things and they're like breaking into a library. That's not that's violence. So when they have to go to
Yeah.
jail, I'm okay with that. But what's happening also is because I think everyone's just getting fed up. This is ridiculous. No
Yeah.
one says anything in America anymore that anybody cares about. Nobody reads a newspaper.
No.
Nobody does this. And that's
No.
bad.
No.
And the
Yeah.
kids
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
understand whether it's the Financial Times, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, know nothing. They
No.
don't read books. They don't know anything. And what they do know is pathetic. And so what happens is you're going to breed a bunch of stupid people that are drones that will follow. At some point, someone's going to get an IQ and they're going to be like, our government has screwed us. That's a problem because that's what happened with Karl Marx. He woke up one day and said, wait a minute, this isn't right. This is what happened with Fidel Castro. This isn't right. This is what happened in Iran in 78 when they got rid of the Shah. This isn't right. And America is getting to the point where people are starting to say, hey, this isn't right. This does not fare well for a government that doesn't see the tea leaves or the writing on the wall. You know, China now, the only reason China can get away with what China's doing is because it's a secret police state. I mean, we're no better.
But,
of course. You know, at least Canada's smart. Canada's like, give them free medical, give them this, give them that. America, if it doesn't wake up, it's going to, in the next few years, especially after this election, most likely have some sort of a skirmish. I don't think Texas is succeeding like they keep saying, but you're going to have a skirmish where there's going to be civil war and people are going to be like, oh my God, why? I don't know. Did you look at the last 20 years? You know, it's great that you have, but if you don't help, this goes back to, if you don't help the people, you're screwed. The Middle Eastern governments that have all this money, whether it's Omar, Qatar, UAE, whoever, they're not stupid. Kuwait, they pay their people. I know Kuwait does. I don't think anybody else does. Kuwait pays their people some money. They give them health care. I know UAE gives health care. They all give health care. They do this, they do that. They try to make it that everybody at least has something because they realize if the people aren't happy, the people
then it's going to
uprise. And I think France with Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI there, Louis XIV, you know, that's not a good way to end. And just because we live in today with all this technology and this crap, I don't think anybody realizes that that doesn't mean there can't be a revolution.
Talking about France, I don't know if you heard in the news in United States, but Macron, you know
Macron, sure. I ate some Macron the other day. It was very good.
Yeah, he held a speech, and it was astonished because he really said that he's been saying this all along, but nobody have listened to him. But now the European community are listening a bit more to him because some things he has said for years is seems to be right, and this is serious because he is saying that let's keep a further distance to United States. Let's not be dependent on United States. Let's build up Europe. Let's think about ourselves. And because you don't know the political situation in America in the future, if they are still participating in NATO, nobody knows. Nobody knows nothing. Well, Even if you guys helped us through the Second World War and with the Marshall help and everything, we have to think about ourselves.
Well, the NATO part comes because Trump said he doesn't want to be part of NATO, right? Because Trump's like, NATO, screw you, we don't care. That's because I think Trump just wants Russia to roll through everything. NATO needs to grow a pair of balls, though, because NATO has no balls. NATO does a lot of talking and no balls. Because if NATO had balls, NATO would be in the Ukraine right now.
Yeah.
Because if Russia rolls through the Ukraine, and I know we're giving them 60 or 600 billion, I know we're giving them money for weapons, and that's fine. Because, God forbid our defense companies don't make money. But we're going to, if Russia rolls through the Ukraine, Poland, Germany, the rest are next. And so NATO needs to step up to the plate, get a pair of balls, and get themselves engaged. If they don't, there's going to be a bigger problem. And the problem is that we're all a bunch of talky. Oh, they really want us to do something? Yeah. Get your head out of your ass and go do something. So for Putin, if I'm Putin, I'm looking at NATO, the U.S., all of it is just a big joke. Well, unfortunately, he doesn't have a real army, which is good. But if he had a real army, he would have rolled through the Ukraine And God bless the Ukraine people. They're fighting like you know what's right, and they're kicking butt and they're pushing back and they're doing a great job.
Yeah.
But at some point, no, it's kind of like in Israel. Israel recalled everybody, even Wonder Woman, the girl who plays Wonder Woman, went to go back to fight the war because that's her job, right? So
Yeah.
they get it. The NATO guys just don't get it. They're like, oh, okay, well, stop with the talking. Put your big boy pants on and go do shit. So to that, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I give Trump credit for putting NATO on the spot. Saying we're going to pull out of NATO, I have an issue with, because I think if we pull out of NATO, then I don't know if the European Union really has balls. I think they talk like they have it, but I think when someone kicks them in it, I don't see them doing anything. I think they're acquiesce. It's kind of like the UN. It's a bunch of crap. So I think there's a real problem in general. I think the world has just become this place of a bunch of BS, political leaders, governments, countries, everybody, and nobody really does anything. Putin's doing something. I mean, good or bad, I give him credit. At least he's doing something.
Yeah, but so many poor people in Russia.
Ukraine are getting screwed.
He don't care about the people.
No, he cares about
his
himself.
Own country.
He's a trillionaire.
Again. But if we go back a bit and remember all the isms. How you have communism, you have imperialism, you have what you have in United States.
What do we have here?
Well, not imperialism, but you're very
capitalism.
Capitalism, yeah, and no one of these isms are good.
Capitalism is okay.
No, it's not okay, because if capitalism is run the way it should, it has to be people with very low income and to make the rich people rich, and it's kind of okay for me, but I'm just saying in history. No of the isms are good. You have to check. You have to take a bit from a bit. The best ism, a professor told me, the best ism in the world is really what is communism. It's communism, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work. But that has the best ideology.
Ideology. Okay.
Yes, but it doesn't work. It shows everywhere. But what if we took a bit of everything and call it humanism?
We lost humanism thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. We lost that a long time ago, my friend. Unfortunately, and to your point,
we have it in our DNA. It's possible to get it back.
Not happening unless there's a global catastrophe and we have to all work together again. And the problem is that all these isms just don't do jack squat. And that's the problem. Like I don't see it happening. I think the biggest problem we have is everyone's out for themselves. Nikola Tesla developed free energy. There's been a whole bunch of people that have come up with free energy, and what happens? They die mysteriously. Or their products
I know.
And why? Because the energy companies and the governments can't control you.
Oh, cool.
So if I came up with, if I could say I could harness free energy like Nikola Tesla and build a tower, which is what they say the pyramids were, and I could give free energy to everybody on the planet, that changes the scope of the planet. But then the governments can't control you. And once they lose control, and the people are going to be like, we can make a Shangri-La, the governments are screwed. Like there's you don't need a government. Because everybody can wait a minute, we can all live harmoniously among each other and blah, 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 blah. What do we need you for? And that's the issue, because everyone's power hungry. Same here with our senators and congressmen that are there for 50 years that are useless, and they're also useless their first day. But it's the same thing. They're all power hungry. No one's doing anything for change. They do everything for themselves. It's bad. In fact, I think on Lost Dollar Business Club, we're about to do a show on senators and congressmen can actually trade inside information and not get punished.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
this is
We see this in Norway today, because
there you go.
the husband to the ex prime minister
Right.
has been caught now with doing inside trade,
Right, sure.
because of his
Position.
missus, and
Right.
you know
Yeah, I know.
everything. It's but we are back to moral and ethics. And if we learn that at school,
Right,
from
but they don't teach that though.
yeah, but you have to learn it from the kindergarten.
No. You know where you have to learn moral and ethics from? Your parents. And you know what the
Yes.
problem is today? We have no parents. There's
No,
no
we
such
have
thing
no.
as a parent. The parents
It's
is an
pals.
iPad or an iPhone. The parents today are useless pieces of
Yeah.
carbon-based life form. I scrape
Yeah.
them on my shoe. There's no
Yeah.
parent today that disciplines their child because a psychologist said if you smack your child, he won't love you. I don't give a shit if my child loves me or not. My child is going to be a gentleman or a lady and be an adult.
You who are watching now, you're a parent.
Be a
Are
parent.
you're a parent, and you are responsible for what is
Correct.
happening. Tell us what you think. Are you pissed off right now, or are you just you don't care?
Know. They don't need to know pissed off. They're too stupid. They got their heads up their ass. They're too busy watching their Netflix and their Instagrams. Parents today are useless. Parents today are nothing more than glorified babysitters. And I was watching this guy was talking about like the Gen X generation. Like if kids today go, you can't go to that function. You have to drive me somewhere. Parents will drive their kids somewhere. If I was a kid and said to my parents, you can't go, I have to go somewhere, my parents would be like, A, walk, B, get a lift from a stranger in a van, your friends or whatever. I don't care. And they would have gone to their event. Like kids today, I don't want to eat meatloaf tonight or lasagna. My parents would have been like, great. If you don't have to eat it tonight, you can have it tomorrow for breakfast. They're not making me a special meal. This is what they're getting. We're going out to dinner. This is where we're going. It's like
norms.
It wasn't a choice.
Norms.
Yeah. But nowadays it's like, oh, I don't want to hurt Johnny's feelings. Fuck Johnny. Fuck Sally. Hurt their little feelings. Discipline your little shit kids. Because if you don't, this is where we're headed. A society of a bunch of pathetic little pansies that are going to make it worse. And they're only worried about one thing. Am I famous? Listen, we don't do these shows to be famous. We just do them because we like to talk and we all know each other. And we just
I do. I want to be
I'm not. Okay. But my point is we're just doing it because we're voicing an opinion that we would voice at a cigar lounge anyway. And we're just telling you our opinion. Whether you agree with it or not, we don't care. But what we want you to do is think. And most people don't think.
Yes.
And that's the problem.
And you know, it doesn't matter about your IQ, really.
Right. That's true.
I think it's more about your your EQ.
That crap, that
EQ
EQ bullshit. That's ridiculous crap too. You have to be a rounded human being, and the only way you're taught to be a rounded human being is by your parents and adults. Today, most parents and adults are not rounded human beings because they weren't taught. I think my generation, which I guess is Generation X, we were the last ones to be rounded and taught properly. We were the ones that went out and rode bikes without helmets. We're the ones who did stupid stuff, and we skinned our knees, broke our bones, and made us stronger. And our parents didn't take crap from us. And if we said something they didn't like, they smacked the shit out of you, and you were like, I won't do that again. And if you said something that swore, you got your mouth washed out with soap. And so I have no problem with that. And I have no problem going back to that. I think if we went back to that, it would make America stronger. I don't need to hug my kid. They're like, you didn't talk about your feelings with your parents. Your parents would be like, you're okay? Good. Be okay. Today, everybody's, nobody gives a shit about your feelings. You're 12. Man up. And so this stuff, and all these kids think, I got bullied on Facebook. You got bullied on Facebook? Then get off of Facebook, you idiot. So all these excuses that we give the children today is why we're becoming a pussy society. So that means any idiot can be president because nobody knows. The handful of people that know, they don't count. They're not in the electoral college. So our society is no longer like when Trump's like, make America great. Dude, you just need to make America America. Forget being great. We lost great a long time ago. To make
Yeah.
any country great, you need people that think. You need people with backbone. We don't have that. Everybody wants the easiest possible way to do shit.
But empathy, sympathy,
That's all crap.
use your brain. No,
That's a big thing.
Empathy and sympathy you have to have, but you don't have to overtalk it like you're a psychologist.
Right.
Because you have to say, snap, come on, this is reality. This is what we have. This is the case. Let's go. Let's move forward, and take the things you have. The problems with you, and remember not to do the same later on.
But that would be history, so you'd have to learn history.
I know.
Oh, that's right. We can't learn history. We're too stupid. So because we're stupid, we don't know history. So when I have dialogue with kids, and like they'll be like, "What about that?" I'm like, "Well, tell me about World War II or World War I or the French Revolution." I don't know. What do they teach you in school? I don't know. Like, you fucking idiots. So if you're an idiot, you're an idiot. No one can help you. History.
Be careful. You're out talking with a lot of kids. You're not driving your white van, are you?
Well, and I have candy, and I play popsicle. I play ice cream music with my white van too. Yeah. So, but no, it's just I'm just totally fascinated by the stupidity of the people on this planet. I'm just shocked.
You are a doctor.
Only in finance and economics. So
yes. But that's plenty.
Okay.
What do you think about? There was an island down around the Seychelles or wherever. A Norwegian was he's dead now, but long time ago he was a part of this. They lived a small community, but not that small. And they lived only in bartering. They had no money.
I like that. That's an interest. I don't think it works for like 300 million people.
No, I know.
But I think if you have a couple thousand people where you have doctors, you probably don't need lawyers, but doctors and mechanics, builders, people that can do things. I think a bartering system is good because it's like, hey, I need my roof on my house, and the guy that's going to put the roof on my house is going to be like, hey, you grow vegetables, I need vegetables. It's a barter system, right?
And
I'm okay with
that makes you think also. I think that you're a part of the system,
of a community, right?
Of a community, and you will gain from it, and you know that you are fucked if you let's say you're a fisherman, and if you don't get fish that day, there are people kind of wait. I'm not saying you have to get fish and make plastic fish, but I'm just saying that you have a responsibility, and nobody has responsibilities any longer.
Right, because people don't care. It's like, what's my response? If I go to an office and work, what's my responsibility? Really nothing. I get a check. So that's why, like, we run our family office, and when we invest in a company, we try to we try to pick what we think is going to be. Like I told people, we want a global company that's going to dominate the world. And we want to see that in the founders, in the people that work there, their mentality. First time someone tells me they want work-life balance, I'm gone. There's no such thing as work-life balance if you're building a global empire. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't get that. And then once again, I'm an old school guy. I was raised in the Northeast with a very different mentality. And it's different than today. But even when I talk to these kids that are like, I want to get a job where I have work-life. Why? Now, if you can work at your home and you can work 3 hours a day in your home and give me a 10-hour workday because of those 3 hours, because you're home and you can get everything else you want done. And I've had guys that do that. They're like, do I have to come in on Friday? And I'd be like, no, stay home and see what you do. They'd start work at 6 and I'd get more out of them on a Friday than I got out of them in the office Monday through Thursday. And I got to the point where I'd say to them, hey, why don't you not come in? And they would work at home, and I would get 3 months worth of work every week out of them. And I was like, I love this. So you have to know your employee. There's some
Yeah.
that you've got to be on top of. And I think that's part of it. It's just that people think that they're entitled to a check. They're entitled to this. They're entitled to that. And really, you're entitled to nothing other than to die. That's
Yeah.
what you're entitled to. And you have
That's
to
for
live your
sure.
life and you die. But
I,
if you
I,
have to do everything in
yep.
between.
I also had some businesses
Right.
not aiming for what you're aiming at all. But I learned that what you give is what you get.
Correct.
If you invest in your people,
Yep.
and if I've been the managing director, if you go down and talk to the people, and not like this
Yep.
one and smoking a cigar.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like in
Yeah.
Germany,
Yeah.
I traded a lot in Germany.
Nazis.
The people are afraid of their bosses. You
Yeah.
know, they're
My
like,
policy that I've always ran with when I worked for people, and I was a CFO or COO or CEO, whatever the title was, is my policy was open door 24/7. You needed me, you come see
yeah,
me. And I used to joke, I would get to the office at 4 or 5 in the morning, and from 4 or 5 in the morning until about 8 o'clock in the morning, I would do my job. From
yeah,
8 to 5, I babysat. And from then 5 to 8, I did my job again. And when I say,
yeah,
and so what I would do, and I remember they did a survey of this, the last company I worked for as an employee, and they did a survey of the employees. And they said, like, rate the C suite, right? So the highest rating was a 9.5, the lowest was a 3. And I didn't, and we had to have a meeting with the board on this whole thing. I was like, okay, this will be interesting. And all I do during 9 to 5 is I would go over to the customer service people and talk to them, see what they need. I would talk to everybody, make sure they're okay. And I would just go. That's like me. I got to make sure you're okay, and I can go do my stuff. If you have a problem, you come see me. So we're in this meeting, and they say the lowest rating is 3.5, and I'm thinking that's got to be me because everybody hates me because I am not like at work. It's like I'll mentor you, I'll do this, but at the end of the day, I want my 100 hours. And the highest rating was 9.5. So they start going through the attributes of the 3.5 and all these other people and the 9.5 people. And so we're all like, at the end of the meeting, we're like, they're going to say, now we're going to tell you who the numbers were. And
yeah.
so they're going, the 3.5 wasn't me. The 4.5 wasn't me. The 6.5 wasn't me. The 9.5 was me. And I was like, really?
Con-
And the person who did the questionnaire that they sent out, they said, yeah, and everyone says the same thing. They said, if you need something to get done, you go see him, meaning you go see Steve, because
yeah,
he'll get
yeah,
it done. He'll just listen to you. He doesn't say anything. It just gets done.
yeah,
Like I remember when somebody said they needed something. I said, okay, well, whatever. And a couple of days later, like they said, it magically appeared on their desk. Somebody's
yeah,
dog died, and their manager's like, you can't take off because your dog died. And this girl was visibly upset. And I
yeah.
saw her, and I said, what's wrong? And she told me, I go, why are you here? She said, because they won't give me, I need a couple of days. I said, the dog is part of your family. We give 3 days bereavement, don't we? And she said, yes. I said, get the fuck out of here. And her manager came to me and goes, I go, you report to me. I said,
Yeah.
I need her to get herself together, have 3 days to come back to give me 10,000%. The way you're doing it, for the next 6 months, I'll get nothing out of her. She'll be useless. I said,
Exactly.
think long term. Don't think.
Yeah.
I said, the 3 days I'm going to pay her, the best 3 days I'm going to. She came back and she
It's an
yeah.
investment.
And that's what everybody kept saying. It's like, we need stuff, blah, 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 blah. And she said, and everybody says, you can talk to him. Everybody, all the
Yeah.
other guys, you could talk to, and they'd be like, yeah, do this. It's not my job. I remember I came storming out of my office once because I heard the COO go, it's not my job. And I literally yelled, what the F you mean it's not your job? You're the C-suite. Everything is your job. And
Of
everyone just
course.
stopped and looked at me. And I'm like, at the end of the day, if you have a C in front of your name or your title, your job, whether it's you pick up the trash or your
Yeah.
job is to mentor people, your job
Yeah.
is to be the first one there, the last one there. Your job
Yeah.
is to lead by example, to mentor, to do.
Yes.
If someone has a problem, you fix it. You don't run. I didn't
Amen.
go when someone had a problem in tech or a customer. I didn't go and go to their boss and go, I would be like, we'll fix it. And I would tell my team, fix it. And I said, if anybody
Yeah.
has a problem with it, you come see me. And the
Yeah.
minute they were like, Steve told me that people, okay, Like, no, we're good. And because they knew it's like, we get shit done. And the companies
Yeah.
we invest in, it's the same mentality. We get stuff done. That mentality goes all the way back to my
But
grandparents and my
then
parents.
again, you have to know about the the noble art of communication,
Okay.
and the communication. You have the three C's, as C C C, K K K in Norwegian, and that
Right.
means
Totally different here in the United States. Yeah.
yeah. But communication
Communication. Right.
solves everything.
Yep.
Everything. No, nothing can beat communication. But you have to level. You have to level. You have to show them that you are not the boss, but the leader, because it's two different terms.
Yep.
You are the leader, and you will decide in the end. They have to know that, but they have to think that I'm doing this for the company, the logo, the tradition of the company, everything. I'm doing my efforts, and this damn Stephen, the guys can be angry with you. It doesn't matter. You have to take unpopular decisions as well.
Somebody has to put the big boy pants on every now and then and go, let's go. But it all goes back to how you're taught. And it goes back to your grandparents, your parents, and how you were raised and how you're taught, which brings us to this full circle to a revolution. A revolution in the office employees are like, boom. The other thing we did is we'd have weekly meetings of the whole company so they can voice their opinion. And sometimes be like, we don't want you guys here. We want to talk. Oh, that's all right. And that's the problem is people's feelings get hurt too much. They don't do this. They don't do that. So they think there's a revolution every time that people are trying to overtake them. And it's not. They just want to voice their opinion. They want to be heard. But then they want you to do something. And that's
ventilation.
Problem. Yeah.
When ventilation, you have to have the if not, the air will be stuck. You know,
you don't want stagnation.
You have to vent. You have to vent. But you've seen the series the Office, the English American. I laugh a lot when I'm not saying I'm the best leader in the world, but I also had I was evaluated like you once, but I didn't get the top score. But doesn't matter. I did not get the low score, but
which is good.
But you have to be humble. You have to be strong. You have to be tough. You have to be kind. You have to be everything. You have to be the father.
Yeah. You have to be able to say no in a way or tell them what's going on so they understand. And in this, it's my way or the highway. It's the only time I'll ever tell someone it's my way or the highway if there's $1 billion on the line and it's my billion. But if it's a company that you're leading and growing, if I go no and here's why, I tell people, don't tell me no, tell me no and a solution. If I tell you no, there's a comment coming behind it why we can't do that, or a combination of what you said and what we're going to do. And leaders today, I don't think know how to do that.
I know some bosses, and some bosses are saying to the. I think it's really the middle, bosses. They are.
Nobody teaches. Yeah, that's a whole. We're going to do that show next week. That's a whole nother show. So
they are spooky because someone are on the way up, someone on the way down, and you never. I don't ever trust them because I go through them and I go down to the down to the river.
I go down to the minions that are doing the work, because those are the people that are going to tell you the truth and they don't care, and that's what you need. So, well, anyway, our time is almost up. So everybody who watched live, thank you for watching live. The rebroadcast will be every Friday. The live show is every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. You can watch. Next week we should have a whole host of characters. You can catch us on the podcast on Friday. The rebroadcast, of course, and the rebroadcast here on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Tell us what topics. If you want to be a guest on Ad Hoc, let us know. We'll put you on. We want to
Come
hear
on.
voicing points of view. And if you don't, just write comments and we'll go from there. Morton, it's always good to see you, my friend.
Oh, it's good. And it's good to be alive.
It's always good to be alive, my friend. Yes.
Alive and live.
Alive and
You know?
alive. Yes, alive and alive. And don't forget to subscribe and like everybody. And we'll see you all next week. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.